Aloha folks, my name is Spoonks and I saw Trolls World Tour and it was actually a lot better than the first one. I'm gonna be honest, I was not a big fan of the first one. I don't think it's a horrible movie, I just think it's fine, definitely lower tier DreamWorks, but it's definitely better than most of the garbage DreamWorks has made in the past, like Shrek the Third or Shark Tale. But as you could tell, I was really not looking forward to this movie that much. The trailers didn't really do anything to like get me excited, and it felt like a carbon copy of Endgame, though with a lot brighter colors and much more glitter. But I gotta be really honest with you guys again, I was thoroughly surprised by how much I enjoyed this movie. Granted, it's no How to Train Your Dragon or Kung Fu Panda, but it is certainly a lot better than the first one, and I found myself enjoying it quite a bit, actually. First of all, the animation is stellar. I mean, of course, being DreamWorks, it's going to look very pretty. It's very colorful. I love the designs of the new trolls, and I even like some of the little things, like when bubbles would pop, it would pop into like tiny pieces of fabric and streamers instead of like water particles, which I thought was a really cool thing. I like the various lands the different trolls live in, like the country trolls live in this very western cowboy land, and like the techno trolls would live in like this very underwater futuristic city. I thought it was very cool and really added to the world that these trolls live in, and I thought the animators did a really good job with that. I also felt that this was a much funnier movie than the last one, where the last one really relied on cool hip lingo and pop culture references to be funny. This one just embraced the weirdness of it, and to be fair, the last one was pretty weird, but this one takes its weirdness up to 11, honestly, and it really elevates the comedy here because they get so weird and so out there that it becomes really funny and leads to a lot of creative jokes, with some certain scenes in the movie feeling like an acid trip, honestly. Like, what drugs were these writers on when they were making this movie? I also like the characters a lot more in this movie than the last, because in the last movie they were just really bland and generic, honestly, but here they give them like actual character arcs, surprisingly, and give them something to do. Even with characters I didn't really care for in the last film, they actually have a bigger role in this film, which I was really surprised about. And I also really like the new characters in this film a lot. I thought they were really enjoyable, really fun, and had unique character designs, particularly the rock trolls. They were probably my favorite characters in the whole movie, and I thought they were a lot of fun to be around with, honestly. And seeing how this is a jukebox musical, I thought the songs were really good. The cover songs were sung very well. I thought they chose a good variety of songs, though Gangnam Style kind of threw me off. I was honestly really surprised to see Gangnam Style in this movie in 2020 when it hasn't been sung in like years. And the original songs were actually really catchy. While nowhere near as good as Can't Stop the Feeling, which I could not get out of my head for like 7 months, I still thought they were really good songs that were pretty catchy, well sung, and pretty original, though the last song we'll get to later. And the last positive thing I can say about this movie is its message, which shocked me, to say the least, with how mature of a message it was. Which is basically the movie's message is about diversity and cultural appropriation, which honestly surprised me to say. Uh, while I do feel that other kids' movies handle their mature themes better, like Zootopia or even Smallfoot, I think the filmmakers did the best they could, because it is a good message to teach children, and the way they handled it was really well. I didn't feel like they did it in a preachy way or like hammered it down your throat. I felt like they did it in a very nice, subtle way, to say the least. But unfortunately, guys, I do have a couple issues with the movie. One issue I had is that the main character, Poppy, was a little naive at certain points with the actions and choices she makes that kind of just made things worse for everyone. I still like her a lot better in this movie because they give her an arc, but some of the choices she makes was ugh. And of course, not every joke lands. It does do some stereotypical slapstick, pop culture reference humor here and there, and While I do like the characters a lot more in this movie, not a lot of them get enough screen time. Some characters are just there to have a big celebrity voice actor be on the poster, and others are just there because they were in the first movie. The film also succumbs to some very familiar family movie tropes, like the guy who doesn't want to go on the mission but is forced to, the friends who have the big argument halfway through the movie, and it also feels very predictable because, well, if you've seen the trailer, you basically know how this movie is going to end from the get-go. Like, if you've seen the trailer, you read the synopsis, you know how this movie's gonna end. And my last issue with this movie is the song it ends with. Now, it's not a bad song, it's not something that makes me want to rip off my ears, but I feel like it was a really weak song to end with. Like, they could have chosen a much better song to end this movie with. It's basically my problem I had with Rio 2, where they were clearly building up to this big song that they were going to end the movie with, but the song they chose was really weak, and it makes the ending also feel weak, and like I said before, they could have chosen a better song. They could have ended with Can't Stop the Feeling, for all I care, but like I said, not a terrible song, but still not the best song to end a movie with. But even with those problems, I still thoroughly enjoyed this movie. I thought it was funny, it had great animation, lovable characters, good songs, and a surprisingly mature message. If your kids are really begging to watch this movie and you've got nothing else to do since, well, we all have nothing to do, I'd say this is definitely worth the rental price. I think the kids are going to like it, and you guys might even like it too. So, if you get the chance, definitely go check this out. It's a pretty good time to watch. And those are my thoughts on Trolls World Tour. What did you guys think of it? Did you like it? Did you hate it? Comment down below and let me know. If you like this video, hit the like button. If you like this channel, hit that subscribe button. Follow me on all social media links at the end of the video. And until next time, guys, stay sharp.
Come quick! I'm having a baby!
A hip-hop troll?
Tiny Diamond is my name. Come straight from my daddy's name. My whole body's made of glitter, and I'll throw it in your face. Peace and love, Tiny and Daddy Al.